right, so let me just get to the entrance theme. You ready with your Did You Know?
No, but just wing it. I've got it. Don't you worry.
Oh, all right. Oh, you know what? Wait a second. I'm going to pause. I didn't actually get any Icebreakers Ice Cubes gum. I want to make sure my mouth is properly, I don't want to just say wet, but like
lubed.
Salivated. Yeah, I don't want to say that either. Properly primed.
Prime, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, no. Prime is not a sponsor of Punk Stock Wrestling. Not yet. I mean, we'd certainly...
Not yet.
I mean, I would 100% accept a Prime sponsorship. We accept all... I mean, well, we're not going to accept all sponsorships, but we are currently accepting sponsorships. If you want to sponsor Punk Stock Wrestling in a capacity, we'll take it and put it towards the podcast.
Fuck yeah.
You know, if you just give us free stuff, we'll sponsor the free stuff you give us. Really. I mean, that's better. Sometimes free stuff is better than money, because I'd be buying the stuff with the money anyway.
Where are you going to put this in the pod?
Oh, probably at the end, or we might
Okay.
need a sting. We might need even a stinger at the intro. Before,
yeah, those are always fun.
Let everybody know straight up we're fishing for free stuff. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And as your wise man, I'm here to bestow upon you the wisdom that you're listening to Punk's Talk Wrestling.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Punk's Talk Wrestling! On this episode, we talk about the fallout, the future, and everything that's happened at NXT Vengeance Day 2025. I am R.W. Hellborn, the PA Rock Prince, hailing quote-unquote from Philly! And I am one half of the Crown, which is one half of your Punk's Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champions of the world. Now, then, and forever by my side, 3,500 miles away in London, England. He is my tag team podcast partner. He is the other half of the Crown, which is the other half of your Punk's Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champion of the world, Mr. Did You Know, Sir King of Reels, the proper prick, C.J. Newman!
Did you know that last year of 2024, Cody Rhodes had more matches in the WWE than any other superstar in the company? Which kind of goes without saying. He was WWE champion for most of that time, and well, unless you're Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, if you're WWE champion, you're probably working more than anyone else. And last year he had 101 matches. Have a quick guess of how many matches he lost out of those 101 last year.
This including tag team matches?
Yeah, including any match at all.
1.
No.
17.
Oh, Jesus, no.
43?
No, 3. He lost 3 matches.
Oh man, I was gonna get there eventually.
I'll be going through his entire record for ages of 101 matches. I'm not going to look at what they were. But, yeah, he lost only 3 matches last year.
Do you know who they were to?
No, I just said I'd have to take ages to go back and look. But the records here. I'll get back to you next week on that one. How about that?
We could also, I mean, or we could just ask Danny the Brain, you know, which ones are.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could tell us in. You don't have to even look it up. He could probably tell us in under 3 seconds.
I would like to see if he could figure out the three matches.
He's gonna message us immediately after listening to this episode. He'll be like, "Yeah, man, it's this one and this one and this one from these this and this and that."
These three events, yeah.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows for sure, yeah.
Like Cody Rhodes, like Cody Rhodes, Danny the Brain is an encyclopedia of professional wrestling knowledge.
I might be able to figure it out right now.
I mean, we certainly could. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT and see. Hi, CG.
Of course you
are. Money in the Bank, July 1st, 2024, in a 6-man tag team match, Rhodes teams with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens against the Bloodline. The match concluded with Solo Sikoa pinning Rhodes after the Samoan Spike. Bash in Berlin.
Yeah.
2024, Rhodes defended his undisputed WWE Championship against Kevin Owens. Despite battling through knee pains, Rhodes successfully retained... No, that's not how he lost. Okay, see, ChatGPT is wrong.
So I do know that he lost to...
That's only one of them. Okay.
He lost to Drew McIntyre on Raw in February last year. But I can't find... Yeah, and he lost that tag match, but I can't find the third loss here anywhere.
Well, no, ChatGPT, you're wrong again. He was not in... Cody Rhodes did not participate in this year's Royal Rumble. And the Final Four did not include... The Final Four were not CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, and Jey Uso. Man, ChatGPT...
of course, Roman Reigns and... It's the 3 matches are Drew McIntyre defeated Cody Rhodes on an episode of Raw in February. Then we had Roman Reigns and The Rock defeated Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins on night 1 of WrestleMania 40.
Mm-hmm. And then the Money in the Bank.
And then we got the one at the Money in the Bank, Jacob and Solo. Yeah, there's your 3 matches.
There it is.
Boom.
All right, we'll see if Danny the Brain could figure that out and message me before we get to this part, before he gets to this part of the podcast where we've already figured it out. Also, this is just a reminder: ChatGPT is not always right. You've always got to check. You've always got to, and things on and other things on the internet aren't always right either. So that's another thing to take into consideration. ChatGPT is only using information that it can find from the internet, and things on the internet are always right, and it's not always right. Just don't believe anything you don't see with your own eyes. Is really
that's right. Do your own research. Fact check yourself.
Yeah, and not to do your own research where you think you're doing research, but really you're just listening to some whack job, who doesn't have any credibility. Like
a couple of punks that talk about wrestling every week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely do listen to us, but don't always believe us.
Yeah, don't believe everything we have to say.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Certainly don't believe anything that 2024 RW said about CM Punk. Don't believe anything that you may have heard in the past by someone.
It'd be 2023. No, that'd be 2023.
Was that 2023? Has it been a year?
Yeah, he came.
Has it been a whole year?
Yeah, he came back Survivor Series 23.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wow. We've been doing this podcast for almost 2 years now.
Almost 2 years now. This is episode 70, I believe, as well. And the fact that we did episode 69 last week and neither of us made reference to it is actually a shame. So
I mean, we're adults.
Okay.
But also, I mean, no, it was nice.
Nice.
I think I did mention it on Threads when I shared the link.
I think I did. You did actually. I saw it. I did.
Yeah. So on the new Mac that I got, I also have I had Logic Pro installed. Which, which I didn't realize is just like essentially GarageBand is Logic Lite. Is from what I've is from what
Yeah,
I've,
GarageBand is the dumbed down version of Logic.
GarageBand, yes, GarageBand.
GarageBand.
You almost said it American, and you stopped
I did,
yourself.
because you said it like 3 times,
Yeah.
and I stopped myself. Yeah.
Yeah, little by little, I'm gonna one day it's gonna finally seep in.
You're chipping away at my accent.
Yeah, just like Karrion Kross in the long play. I'm gonna slowly chip away at your British. I mean,
I've been watching wrestling for, 30 years, so I hear the American accent so much. So
you'd think it would have impacted you by now, but I mean, you also the other 20
living in the UK.
Yeah, the other rest of your entire life and daily interactions with real people. You know what's funny? You know what's funny though? Now that I think about it, when you read people's comments online, do you read them with your own like British accent, or do you read?
Yeah, I think I read everything in my own. I don't know. When I read, I think I just read in my own accent. The only time the only thing I ever do is when I read, if I'm reading an article and it says like it's an interview with someone and they're like Randy Orton said, my brain will automatically tend to slightly hear the quote in a Randy Orton voice.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you know what Randy Orton's voice sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't know why that just popped into my head, but I was just, I don't know.
Valid question. It's a valid question.
And maybe if this makes it into if somehow makes it into relevancy in the podcast, we'll ask our listeners if when you read quotes online, do you read it in your own voice or do you read it in a voice that you know the person, or do you read it in some other made up voice in your head just because? That's good, that could be a good question.
It's a valid question. It's a valid question.
Man, I don't know where. Oh, hold on. I did need to grab one more thing. I'll be right back. Just one second. Keep it rolling. Yeah. Very, very.
Hi.
Hey, hi. I'm back. Very, very important.
So, just so you're aware, I clicked something on my computer and I stopped recording, but it was right as you went away, so that kind of helps,
okay.
I guess. Now, it happened at the most convenient moment, to be honest.
Well, are you back recording again?
Yeah, I'm back. We're fine. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I needed to get something extremely important, and I think you might know what it is.
Icebreakers gum?
No, I have the Icebreakers Ice Cubes gum. I still have my raspberry sorbet and Bubble Breeze. No. That's what I needed.
What's that?
It's a generic lime seltzer from Giant. Yeah.
Giant. Yeah, of course. I've just got
what else?
A big 1 liter. I just got water.
Still, just water. Oh, but you have water again.
Oh, I have water now. Yeah, in the update from last week.
That's good.
But by God, like it took. I mean, it must have been without water for like 4 days,
Holy
5 days.
Shit, for real?
Yeah, because there was a problem.
Yeah, there was.
Well, no, it took them ages to fix the problem, and then while they were fixing that, there was a series of other problems in other places around the area.
Oh.
So it just kept causing the problem to go on for longer and longer. So like we went over to Heather's parents' house and like gathered as much water as we could to bring home and had a shower, and then that kind of lasted us for like the next few days. It came on like one time for a bit, and it was like the lowest water pressure you've ever seen.
I hate that.
But now we're back in business.
I hate when you have no water pressure.
But now we just have water again, and I don't have my water's not sponsored by anyone. It's just out the tap, and it's sponsored
by the British Water Company, London.
Thames Water, actually, it's what they're called.
Oh, Directly from the river?
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
We probably have.
No, it's not. We have definitely spoken about this before, and you asked exactly the same question. In fact, I was speaking to Heather about this in the car the other day, and I said, I remember when I brought up Thames water before to you, and you were like, so it comes from the Thames? I was like, no, it doesn't come from the fucking Thames.
Well, then why do they call it that? Like,
because, I don't know, because the Thames is the river that runs through London, so they just called it Thames water.
Where does the water come from then?
I don't really know, but what I do know is that essentially it's just
let's go to Google.
Recycled over and over again.
How do you spell Thames?
It's just piss and shit that's been filtered, essentially.
Is it Temmes?
Thames.
Oh, T-H-A?
Yeah, Thames.
Oh, Thames.
Thames.
Okay, the Thames.
Essentially.
The river Thames. That's
the river Thames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's. This is thrilling, compelling podcast material.
This is definitely what people tune into a wrestling podcast for.
Yeah, where the Thames water, UK's largest water and wastewater. ... They take care of 16 million people, enabling our customers, communities, and environment to thrive. I mean, yeah, if you're supplying water to people, then you're literally, one of the things that keeps people alive. But the real question is, where do they get their water?
I don't know. This is Thames water goes back a long time. From 1889, 100 years.
Here it is. Well, I mean, the AI overview says Thames water gets its water from the River Thames, the River Lee, aquifers, and a desalination plant.
All right. Well, I guess the way I'm looking at it, because everyone thinks that the Thames goes just through London, but it goes through like Reading and Kent, and like it goes way out. In fact, it nearly goes all the way through the country. It just about stops shy of like near where Wales is. So, it's a really fucking long river. So I guess out in those regions, way out west, it's
right because they've regionally.
It's going to be a lot cleaner out there.
Certainly.
Out there. The River Thames in London is a fucking cesspool soup of...
It's probably very much like the Schuylkill River here. I don't know.
Like, for real, like, this isn't even an exaggeration. Like, when we had the plague in London, they were literally dropping dead bodies into the river to dispose of them.
Right. That as they seldom did back in the days when they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah. So that's the Thames.
Wow. So it's just So it has. Now, did they ever go and get all those bodies out, or are they still just sort of like?
Oh shit! No, look, the Thames is probably like. You don't retrieve things from the Thames. You can't see into the Thames. I don't even know how you would need like sonar technology to to like see what was on the bottom there.
It really sounds like the Schuylkill. Here, the Schuylkill is just a fucking garbage dump of a river that goes from it starts up in Schuylkill Haven, PA, which is like middle of the state-ish. But it goes all the way down to Philly, and it just gets worse and worse, especially past the Limerick power plant. That's
what it's gonna.
It's freaking disgusting. So hey, I mean, another odd. I guess it's just another parallel between Philly and London and you and I. We have a garbage river that rolls into the city.
Yeah, I think a lot of you'd probably say
it's pretty.
Like what city has a clean river?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly because that's what happens is for years and years people
it's
just
a city.
dump.
It's where the waste we just dump shit
into the river because that was the
disgusting.
idea was I'm going to dump it in the river and it'll just go away.
Yeah,
and there's still people in 2025 who that's about their level of thinking.
Yeah, it's like I can't see it anymore, therefore it's not a problem.
It's just not a problem for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, wow, what a great way to start off this week's podcast. This is definitely. I mean, honestly, I think this is a perfect little Patreon point. A PPP.
I don't even know if it's Patreon. I think this is just premium content.
I mean, you know what? Yeah, I mean, this is, probably should just give this. We should give this to the people. They deserve.
I tell you what. I guess it just comes down to the guy that edits it and decides whether the episode is long enough or short enough.
Yeah. Well.
How's about we talk about Vengeance Day, NXT Vengeance Day 2025?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck it. We're here now, and I'm already on the Instagram page. So let's talk about.
Let's just make. Yeah, I can edit
in the
this.
Room.
Yeah,
you can. That's you have the power right there.
I do. I've got the touch.
You got the touch. Who did that song?
I forget, but it was in the original '80s Transformers movie.
Yes, I got the power. I got the touch. I got the power.
Stan Bush. Wait, is that really
Stan? Who the fuck is he? Oh, there's a picture of him right there.
Yeah, Stan Bush.
He looks as 1986 as it possibly can get. But
yeah, I think that was one of those guys that that was his. I think that was basically his one hit.
That was pretty much his thing. But hey,
Stan Bush
it stood the test of time.
Yeah, Stan Bush is 71 years old. Yeah, he is best known for The Touch, featured in the 1986 movie The Transformers: The Movie.
There we go.
Anyway,
back to the we're so good at doing that. Earlier this week, posted a little reel here I did on our Instagram about we've been singing Karrion Kross's praises now for a long time, to be honest with you.
We have, and
I'm not going to say we're the first, but I feel like we were one of the earliest people to start talking about how he was controlling everything. It feels like anyway.
I will say what we are the only podcast that ever talks about is the fact that I actually loved when he came out in that welding mask thing for a month.
Yeah, even if Karrion Kross hates that himself, you loved it.
I mean, he might have. It would be nice. It'd be nice to maybe someday we'll talk to him about it and ask how he really felt about it.
I think he's already done it. He was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast. He hated it.
Yeah, but maybe one day we'll talk to him and ask him about it, and perhaps I can subtly over time change his mind and
convince him that it was a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think it was great. Let's make sure. I don't know that. I don't really think it was great. What I personally love is when I see a wrestler drastically change something about them. It was universally hated by anyone that liked him at the time. And I get it because that's, change is difficult.
It is difficult. Anyway,
change is hard. Anyway,
we posted a reel of, talking about the Karrion Kross controlling everyone's narrative, which is something we've spoken about for ages now here on this podcast. Yeah. And, I mean, geez, it's crazy. I mean, we're always posting reels, and I always tag whoever's in the reel, whoever I'm posting about. It just makes sense to do so. But
of course,
Karrion Kross was generous enough to. Damn, he reposted it on his story. He
accepted the invitation to collaborate.
That's right. So it's on his feed, and he followed the podcast. So we can say that Karrion Kross is a friend of the podcast now. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, we open our arms as friends to anyone that follows.
Yeah, and he embraced. So
yeah, he does. Yeah, we recognize the greatness, and in kind, he's shown grace himself. And he's graced us with helping reach over 50,000 views in 2 days?
2 or 3 days. Yeah, helped us go over the 400 mark for hell. We went up for about 15 followers over the last few days as well, which is great. So we're at 404 now, which is amazing.
Yeah, which is I think I mentioned it. We did mention it. I was going to mention it. We're all trying to get to that, our first milestone. We haven't pushed it much. We don't market, ourselves. We just post the things we post and see what happens. But there's a 500 follower milestone that everyone likes to reach, and I think that's the next thing we should get to. And to do that, we just need people that are already following us to tell your other wrestling friends, here's a podcast that's you may enjoy. Or it's not even about listening to the podcast. It's really just about following us on Instagram at Punks Talk Wrestling.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, thanks to everybody that started following. Thanks to everyone that has tuned in and listening. Once again, thank you, Karrion Kross. It's now the fifth highest reel that you, Sir King of Reels, has created.
King of Reels. I bestowed upon you. Yeah, that Kevin Owens reel from last week is completely smashed it. I didn't expect that reel to do as good as it did, but
yeah, the KO one got, and this is now back to back. Like these are pretty, like, usually we've had, we had the band moves reel that got like 80,000. I think we got close to that got a massive amount. And now that I messed up our pins, I don't know where it went. We got to scroll back to it. Anyhow, that was yeah. Welcome new listeners, welcome new followers. We hope you enjoy the stuff we're doing. And if you don't enjoy it, you can stop listening and stop following us. That's cool too. But
that's cool with us too.
But actually, no, it's not cool. No, we want to keep the followers. Even if you don't like it, just keep following. You can hate follow us. It's fine. Anyhow, yeah. Stan Bush, let's go back. Stan Bush, we'll backtrack it. You've got the touch. The Transformers, the movie. Let's okay. Where are we at? Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day. Yeah. How about we talk about Vengeance Day 2025?
Yeah. We'd mentioned this, I think, last week, or there were a number of, there's been reused. NXT has reused some of the old pay-per-view names before, so it just makes sense that, while it's NXT is calling it Vengeance Day, apparently it is still attached canonically to the original Vengeance pay-per-views.
Yeah, the logo is kind of similar. The red and white is still being used.
Yeah, and the very first Vengeance from 2001 saw the main event of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Chris Jericho in a championship unification match.
Oh, well, that was the first. Yeah, that was and obviously The Rock versus, you had Stone Cold versus Kurt Angle, and then Jericho versus The Rock, I think, is how it went.
Right. We had the two match. They each had a match to determine their champion.
Like a mini tournament.
Yeah. So what a lineage, what would that be considered? That was an epic moment in WWE history.
Yeah.
It is the only Chris Jericho being the only person to ever defeat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in a single night.
I've also just noticed that NXT have had a Vengeance Day every single year since 2021.
Yeah, it's become it's a
bit of a staple. Yeah,
and just running down these main events from the previous years: Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship, Braun Breaker versus Santos Escobar. Yeah, Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller in a steel cage match for the NXT Championship. We had last year. Just last year was Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams. This was Trick beating Ilya Dragunov and becoming NXT champion. I believe was the outcome.
This time, then last.
No, actually, no. Ilya Dragunov defeated Trick Williams.
Actually, last year was when Carmelo Hayes turned on Trick Williams.
Right, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
But this year is the first year that women have of any Vengeance Day, WWE or NXT, that the women have main evented a Vengeance Day Vengeance Day pay-per-view, which is really cool.
And holy shit, what a match that was! When we'll get to it after we get to the other matches. After we get to the let's just roll down everything we've got. Fucking poster.
We have poster's great. We're so where are we? NXT 2025, February 15th, 2025, to be exact, from Washington DC at the Care First Arena.
Yes.
What can I tell you about the Care First Arena? I always like to do this. I like my arena history. We've got it's only been around since 2018. It was opened, and it's always been known as the Care First Arena. I tell a lie. It was known as the St. Elizabeth's East Entertainment and Sports Arena during its planning and construction, and then it was renamed the Entertainment and Sports Arena. Just that's it. Which is kind of weird.
Well, because St. Elizabeth's East Entertainment and Sports Arena is a lot to say.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to say all that stuff.
Saying that's crazy. It was literally rebranded the Care First Arena 9 days before this Vengeance Day event.
Oh wow! So was this the first?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but it could definitely be
the first event.
Yeah, it could definitely be. The Care First Arena, very first. I mean, it looks like it probably was. Yeah, it probably was the first ever event held as the new name.
I can tell you there was not a lot of caring coming first in this event.
What?
The event, because people weren't caring they were fighting each other.
Oh, they were fighting. Okay, well done. Congratulations. It's also the home of the Washington Mystics, the WNBA team, and the NBA Gatorade League, which I still don't quite understand what the fuck that is. The Capital City Go-Go. That's the name of a team, apparently. The Capital City Go-Go.
That is the name of a team?
That's the name of a basketball team, the NBA G League, which I think is like the NXT of the NBA.
I would say that's probably the Evolve, because college basketball would be the NXT, right?
I suppose, yeah. Well, I don't know. No, because college basketball. I'd say
that's
college
not professional.
is the. Yeah, I'd say college is the Evolve.
Right.
Yeah, and the NBA has the NBA name on it, so NBA G League would insist that it's probably.
Okay, I see.
G League is a professional basketball league in North America that serves as the developmental league for the National Basketball Association. So there you go. NBA G League is the NXT of the NBA. Oh my god, I just knocked over my microphone.
Well, no, wouldn't it? No, that it would. If it's the developmental league, then it really would be Evolve.
No, because NXT is developmental.
NXT's not really developed, and not anymore. NXT is its own brand. God damn it! It's got the greatest women's division in the entire world of professional wrestling.
So what's college basketball then? Is that just the Indies?
That's the Indies. Yeah, that's probably the Indies because they're not major league.
So there is no. So NBA doesn't have an NXT.
It's
then.
not. You know what? Professional wrestling is its own thing. It doesn't have any comparisons to anything else at all. That's really what it comes down to. We're trying to make apples and oranges into appleages. And that's that's just as dumb as whatever joke I was trying to make.
Or just like apple and orange juice, which would be disgusting. I don't know if that would work. Attendance I actually have got from cagematch.net, and that is 3,849 people. Was the attendance for Vengeance Day.
All right. Hey, we've got on-screen personnel. We've got the commentators, Vic Joseph, Corey Graves, and Booker T. By the way, love all of those guys on commentary. I'm happy to see Corey Graves back in NXT. I mean, I know there was some
some funkiness going on there, whatever that is. But
I don't know what all that was. We may never know, but it's a thing that you could put a pin in later. I think anything that gets people talking about Corey Graves potentially returning to in-ring action is something worth talking about.
Yeah.
Anytime that it's potential, because the New Day even said the New Day says anyone can come back from a broken neck except Big E. So Corey Graves, come on, man, Corey Graves, come on, come back, just come back. Everybody, I really think that would be. I know this is another tangent, but goddamn, to be able to see Corey Graves wrestle even one time. To see him wrestle Pat McAfee, like that,
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Because we know McAfee can go. McAfee's had matches in NXT, and they were not terrible.
Yeah.
Especially now with how people are really, come on, like, of all the things that we will into existence, and we're going to talk about things we willed into existence in this episode, and especially when we talk about this week's NXT. Holy shit, let's just will into existence Corey Graves versus Pat McAfee. We're going to happen. Spanish commentators Marcelo Rodriguez and Jerry Soto. Ring announcers Mike Rome. Referees Adrian Butler, Chip Danning, Dallas Irving, Derek Sanders, and Felix Fernandez. Interviews by
definitely a lot of new referees there, because there were some I didn't recognize at this event. Actually,
yeah, and,
so
and none of them have Wikipedia pages yet. But I mean, look, we got to focus. Focus on. Unfortunately, we got to prioritize. Who's the guy that I'm always anyway. I'll edit this out because I can't think of his name right now. But he doesn't have it. But he doesn't have a Wikipedia page either.
Chad Patton.
Chad Patton. Yeah, referee Chad Patton. Yeah. Referee Chad, no Wikipedia page Patton. Interviews Sarah Schreiber, and with a pre-show panel of Megan Morant and Sam Roberts. I did not see the pre-show. I never really do.
No, me neither.
There you go.
First match of the night, Stephanie Vaquer. Why is it every time I read her name, I want to pronounce it weird? But it's Vaquer, isn't it? Everyone says Vaquer.
Yeah.
But
I concur.
It looks like
that it's Stephanie Vaquer.
Anyway, Stephanie Vaquer versus Fallon Henley. With Jacy Jane and Jasmine Nix. Loads of Y's in that name. Women's NXT North American Championship. Good match, good opening match. I think we both predicted this result with Stephanie Vaquer winning the NXT.
We did. Second longest
championship
and second longest match of the night. 15 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah, it was quite a long match. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this solidified the. I don't know. I don't remember what their faction name is. But Fallon Henley. I mean. Fallon Henley had a great heel run with that title. I think it was a perfect amount of time for her to solidify herself as as a major contender in the women's division. Also, as we will see on NXT yesterday, the 6-woman tag match that they had just brings basically all of these women, Fallon, Jacy, and Jasmine are in the ring with both women's champions and Jordynne Grace. Like, yeah, this is all, all of them are doing amazing work. Jacy Jade has been in NXT for a while as well. Yeah. So I think, her being with both Fallon and Jasmine, who are a little bit newer, has certainly helped. This is exactly what we talked about probably a year ago or so. With everyone knows who they are now, especially in the women's division.
Yeah.
And we saw every single one of them has their own personality, their own vibe to them.
Yeah, and the NXT's women division is definitely I don't think we were doubting the talent. It was just more the fact that everyone's names kind of sounded the same and everyone's gimmick felt the same. But I think they were just they were at the foundational level of that because the NXT division was once the best women's division in the world. And I think we're getting back to we had Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. Now we've got Jordan Grace, Stephanie Vaquer, and Julia. All on top there,
and Roxanne Perez and
Cora Jade,
and let's real quick. We're going to go so far. They're just looking at the list of the women's division. Adriana Rizzo's coming up. Ariana Grace has been over in TNA.
Kalani Jordan.
Gigi Dolan is still there, ready to at any moment can come back and just destroy things. Jada Parker is just she's on fire. She's on fire. She's got something that everyone loves. The crowd reaction to her on NXT was phenomenal. We've got Jakara Jackson. We've got Carmen Petrovich, who is poised and ready to make some more waves. Lash Legend is there. Nikita Lyons is there. Chauncey is back in NXT. Sol Ruka and Zarya are the odd couple tag team that no one saw coming, and is just goddamn fantastic.
That little vignette that they played during the during the NXT Vengeance Day was great. The little kind of training montage situation.
I want to nominate the odd couple buddies become buddies tag team. Unlikely pairing turned odd couple buddies. To the Punks Talk Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, I'm into it.
We always love that. It's like the Rock and Sock connection situation.
Yeah. Tatum Paxley.
Yeah.
Thea Hale is and Wendy Chu is also still there. Wendy Chu's been doing some stuff in TNA as well.
I think she has. Yeah, she's been over there.
This NXT TNA crossover. God damn, let's get to it in a second. The match was fantastic. The match was great. Fantastic.
Really good opening match. Stephanie Vaquer winning the NXT North American Championship.
Yeah. All by the way, and fending off the entire faction all by herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Just made her look super strong. Phenomenal. Second match of the night, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, which I don't know why they're not just calling them Fraxium.
Yeah, some teams they do that with, don't they? They just kind of like.
I think it's because the internet. What happened is the internet came up with it first, and so now they're just not going to do it because
that's pretty much it.
Because then you're going to have some, it's Nathan Frazier and Axiom. We can call them whatever we want.
Yeah,
they're going to not say that, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless I'm just really having like a Mandela effect moment, and like it because I've heard it online. I've seen people say it so many on.
They say it on air, but they don't announce them as Fraxium. Like the commentators say Fraxium all the time.
That's what it is. The commentators say it, but they don't announce them. They've never said Fraxium in the graphics.
No, never in the graphics. Ring announcers never said it, but this match, obviously against Josh Briggs and
Yoshiki
Inamura.
I've been practicing pronouncing that.
This was all right. Let's get to the match, and then I'm going to say something controversial.
Okay.
I actually like this match is really fun. Josh Briggs has always been impressive. I think it's he's in developmental for a reason. I think he's gotten better, but I think his character needs he's getting more comfortable in front of a camera, and that's great. That's not the controversial thing. That's exactly what he's there to do. Inamura is wild, like the fucking
holy shit, man.
He's just a machine. Like the fall away slam he did without even leaving his feet, and like when he's like bouncing off the top rope to do that crazy splash. Like the dude is insane.
He's like he reminded me of like those old toy Weeble Wobbles. How he just sort of like bounced like no matter how you knock him down, he just sort of bounces right back up.
Yeah, he is a ball of a man as well. He just
got it. You know who he kind of reminds me a little bit of. He like a fast Taz.
Yeah, he is kind of Taz-like. He's
tanky, but a little shorter.
Yeah, and it's funny actually. I thought that Josh Briggs kind of reminded me of Kevin Nash here, especially with his attire as well in this match.
Yeah.
He had like the leather with the tassels on it. He's kind of got that. He's a more agile Josh Briggs. So we had Taz and Kevin Nash versus Fraxium, basically.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's gonna go back and verify this, but I don't know if we said if we thought Axiom was gonna win. I think we thought Axiom was gonna win.
I think we said Axiom would win.
I'm pretty sure for Axiom. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I said. I don't know. I think I said Fraxium, but I'm pretty sure that I said it would be cool since, Pro Wrestling Noah had the, everyone's talking about TNA, but obviously Pro Wrestling Noah also have a bit of a relationship with NXT as well.
Just quietly, but that's
just a bit quietly in the background, yeah.
But that's also outside.
But that's probably
the US.
because you can't really watch Pro Wrestling Noah in the US, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know, but Omos was over in Pro Wrestling Noah for he's been over there for months. He's become one of their top stars or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. He was I think he was one half of the tag team champions over there for a minute,
Yeah, he was.
Right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. This is my controversial thing. I appreciate. I don't like Fraxium.
No, you know what? I get it. I can get that.
And the problem is, I feel like a lot of people really like Fraxium, and I feel like they get so much praise. And don't get me wrong, they're great in the ring. I think they're amazing wrestlers, but the pairing feels off. They seem off. I don't like Axiom as a character. I don't like it. I just don't like it, okay?
Yeah, I
don't have to give you a reason either. I just don't.
Yeah, no,
I liked him better as A-Kid. When he was in NXT UK, he was A-Kid. And I thought that character was so much better. And I don't know why you put a mask on him. He's not a superhero. Superheroes don't actually exist. He doesn't have a reason to wear a mask. Kane had a reason to wear a mask because he was burned.
No, I mean, what do you mean people... Luchadors have... I mean, I was going to say, hold up a second. People don't...
No, luchadors are different because luchadors have a reason to wear a mask. Kane had a reason to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Mankind was insane. He had a reason to wear a mask. Why is Axiom wearing a mask?
Is Axiom not considered is he not considered a luchador style wrestler?
He does like a luchador style of wrestling, but he's from Spain, right? I know, right? Spain is like the Mexico of Europe.
Yeah.
It's funny. It is, but I wouldn't call him a luchador.
Wow. Okay. You are not wrong. That is controversial.
In my estimation, all right, tell me.
What a controversy.
Maybe I'm wrong. But in my eyes, to be a luchador, you need to be from Mexico.
Okay.
Right?
Would. Or wrestle in Mexico, or have wrestled in Mexico, or
maybe, I don't know, but would you you wouldn't consider Will Ospreay and Ricochet a luchador, would you? Even though they wrestle the same style.
I guess I don't. I guess
you just
I don't
call him
know
a high flyer. You just call him a high flyer.
Well, that's true. I guess I don't know enough about what the true luchador. Really, we should ask some luchadors. We'll ask Chad Gable, since he's studying lucha libre,
the dark arts. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good. That's the question. I guess that is really the question. What defines being a luchador, and what defines lucha libre, and what separates just a high flyer from a lucha libre style, and what separates a masked wrestler who is a high flyer from a luchador? That's the question right there. Which we could probably get some really heated responses from in this reel that I'm gonna.
That you're just it's happening right now. Yeah. But getting back to the subject at hand, I just don't like Fraxium. I Nathan Frazier. All right, I don't know. I feel like we spoke about this recently on the pod, right? I don't know if we did or not, or maybe I just heard this question somewhere, and I did. I just heard this question somewhere, and I was just like, I don't really know. God, I sound like it's such a dick. But someone said,
you are the proper prick.
That's right.
This is your proper prick. This is your proper prick pick.
I know exactly what's happened. I know exactly what's happened.
You've pricked
it out. Well, we've been touched by Karrion Kross, and now I'm turning heel.
Oh, it's so.
And I didn't even notice it. It's just it's the Kross effect, man.
It's the Kross effect.
It's happening.
Oh man.
Anyway,
I mean, listen.
I heard this question recently.
I'm not saying you should use the. I'm not saying you should make a new move called the Kross effect. But the Kross effect does sound like a badass move. That once you get hit with it, it literally changes your psychological makeup, and it like. Could you? I mean, imagine. Can you imagine how deep that would go if we could somehow tie the specific move into him turning them heel? Like he hits you he's so maniacal and knows the human brain at such a level that he knows precisely the point to hit you.
He does like that submission, right, as his finishing move. So maybe he could lock you in that submission and like make you pass out, and when you wake up, your entire mentality is completely changed.
God damn, we're so good. We're so good.
Anyway, so look, I heard the question recently, and it was just like, name one wrestler that you don't have a reason, right? But you just don't like him.
Mine's
Nathan Frazier.
Mine's
Nathan Frazier.
I think I saw Not Nick on Threads post something similar to that. Oh, actually, no. I think he posted something the opposite of name a wrestler that you used to not like for any reason and now do. But either way, I get it. I get it because for a time, like they were the odd couple for a minute, and then they were teasing the breakup that just didn't happen, and now they're and now their only gimmick is we're the best, like, which is not saying they're not the best. Like, what's so weird is that they are so good in the ring.
No, they're so good in the ring, and you know what makes me cringe even more a little bit.
But I think you're right. Like, I don't like
their entrance. It has the whole superhero theme, and I don't know what it is, but whenever wrestlers. I'm not saying superhero themed stuff. I mean, like when Johnny Gargano used to come out in Iron Man stuff.
No.
That was fine, right? But when a wrestler has a superhero, not the Hurricane, that was tongue in cheek. Whenever a wrestler has an actual superhero themed gimmick, it makes me cringe so deeply. I don't know what it is.
I see what you mean because they're doing it purposefully and not like you said. The Hurricane was tongue in cheek. Nikki ASH was which by the way, Nikki ASH, right? That
Nikki
I'm getting that right. ASH?
Yeah, ASH, yeah.
Yeah, a superhero. Nikki a superhero. They were tongue in cheek in a way that you knew it wasn't serious, but this is like it breaks the suspension of disbelief by trying to be. It'd be like I don't know.
Almost a superhero. That was it. Jeez.
Almost a superhero.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when it's just like, I hate the entrance. I hate their presentation. I don't like Nathan Frazier. I wish they both wore a mask. I know that's so dumb. If one of you's going to do it,
he kind of is. He's kind of wearing that face protector now, so he's almost like halfway there. But he takes it
off anyway. Yeah, but I guess so. But that's for a purpose. But Anyway, it's
they're
dumb.
they're lacking they're lacking. I think what's happening is it's just sort of the gloss is wearing off a little bit, and now we're looking for something more out of their characters.
Yeah, because honestly, like they're the kind of tag team that gets up to the main roster and just
They're gonna die. Yeah, they're gonna.
They'll just fade away into obscurity. They're a highlight reel for sure.
Because
like Ricochet. Ricochet was a highlight reel.
Well, that's what it was. If you I think you're spot on with that assessment. Is like they would have a difficulty on the main roster making people care about who they are.
Yeah.
Not a so. I mean, it's a good spot for them to be in. Also, looking at NXT, it 100%. I think we called it. I know some other people have mentioned it on some of our posts, and we're barreling towards the Hardy Boys versus Fraxium for both the titles, and you know what's going to happen. The Hardy Boys are taking the NXT titles, and we're going to see Matt and Jeff Hardy with the NXT and TNA tag titles for.
I mean, as I said, I called it last week. I said by Stand and Deliver should be Fraxium versus the Hardy Boys for both the tag team titles, and that'd be great as well.
And goddamn, if Triple H didn't tell his buddy Sean to tap into our lines too.
That's right, and it'll be great as well because like we haven't had it yet for a TNA or an NXT talent to win the other company's championship, and there's no better people to do it with than obviously the Hardy Boys, who you know and trust and work with before.
Because do we want to just bring it up now, or do we want to wait till a more natural time to bring it up? No, because it happened on NXT. We'll wait till after this, and we'll get to the other things that happened to NXT.
All right. Anyway, great match. Enjoyed it.
Yeah,
we predicted right, I think, with this one.
I think it's because you know what? Because it wouldn't have made sense. It makes more sense for where we're going to have
for where we're going. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Before the next match, give me
the next match. We predicted incredibly wrong. Eddie Thorpe versus Trick Williams strap match, because we both said Trick Williams would win.
No. We were not wrong. We were surprised.
Oh, we're surprised. You're right.
We were thoroughly surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised, to be honest with you. I did not, and it ended so anticlimactically as well. I didn't expect Eddie Thorpe to get this.
Yeah, I didn't at all. But in hindsight, if Eddie Thorpe had lost this match, then there's nothing for Eddie. Like that, they're obviously trying to do something with Eddie Thorpe, and the only way for them to make any of this work is he had to beat Trick. Also, we're the streak of Trick losing can easily be a thing. That's either going to take him out of NXT and up to the main roster. I mean, we know eventually we're going to see Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. Like,
oh yeah, it's going to happen.
We know that's coming. I would not be surprised if I'm going to call this. This is my PA Rock Prince prediction. A new segment here on Punk's Talk Wrestling that I just made up right now on the PA Rock Prince predictions, so that we can have more P alliterations. I think Trick Williams is showing up the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I think it's definitely going to be. I would go so far because Trick is in this Trick is up in the Intercontinental, not in the U.S. title mix a little bit. Like he's getting himself.
Well, it depends because Carmelo Hayes has been on a losing streak for quite some time now.
He has, which has to turn around.
And I think he beat R-Truth on SmackDown last week, so we could start to see the turnaround for him, and eventually he's doing really well, and eventually that's when Trick Williams comes. Maybe, he should come on SmackDown, actually. Maybe the SmackDown after WrestleMania,
I think, for one, I think Carmelo Hayes definitely is going to get that U.S. title. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough time. I don't know if there's enough time to do it before WrestleMania?
No. Well,
Probably not.
I really want Jimmy Uso to somehow end up in a US title match at WrestleMania. So him and
we
Jay
got yeah. But anyway, that's
that.
all. But
that's a whole other kettle of fish.
That's a whole other kettle of fish. Yeah, we might have to talk about that next week on all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really was. They're going behind Eddie Thorpe. They're getting behind him. We saw him in another match in NXT this week, which with another whole storyline with Chase. Goddamn, we're gonna. Yeah, I didn't expect it. I was surprised. The match was good. Overall,
yeah,
I mean, as far as
I'm a little more sold after this match. I was a little more sold on Eddie Thorpe, actually.
Yeah, I think I think having a match that, because now this can become part of his thing, you know.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not always a strap matches in general are one of those matches that I'm never. It's low on the totem pole of specialty matches as far as my rankings.
Yeah, because it doesn't. Yeah, but and it's so weird because obviously
the gimmick is
Drew McIntyre and CM Punk had a strap match, and in that match it was the whole touch the four corners thing, and then sometimes there's a strap match and it's just a pin situation. So it's weird.
Yeah. And that's part of it is because the match doesn't necessarily, you call it a strap match, but there are varying degrees of the additional things involved with it. Because also there is a four corners match where you just have to hit the four corners, you know. So really CM Punk, the CM Punk Drew McIntyre was a four corners strap match.
Four corner strap match, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, yeah. As far as strap matches go, I don't think anyone can say it wasn't a great strap match. It's just that's one of those things that's not necessary. It's just not my thing. So I'm like, yeah, I look at it. I look at it as they're definitely.
It's one of those. It might, I think it's a storyline driven stipulation. I think what should happen in a storyline is like. But there's a guy who's constantly trying to run away from someone. So the only reason you're going to either do a cage match or you're going to do a strap match, so they can't get away from that person.
Right? And I was going to say that's the only thread, because I was literally about to say, how did we even get to a strap match? Because it just sort of happened. It just seemed like it sort of happened. But I guess the point to exactly your point is Eddie Thorpe has been trying to underhandedly like get away from one-on-one matches or get away from, I don't know. It was a little messy how they got to the strap match. Yeah. Anyway, and again, this is just out of a 10, it's really like this is the 7 out of a 10 kind of thing. Like, it's not bad in any way whatsoever. It's just probably my least favorite thing of the night.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm still not 100%. I'm not invested in Eddie Thorpe yet, but this definitely
sold me on him a little more. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Exactly, and I see now where they're going with Trick. The inevitable things. It makes sense.
Yeah.
10 minutes and 58 seconds. Only about 30 seconds longer than the tag match. That was 10 minutes and 24 seconds. Was the tag match being the
shortest of the night.
The shortest match of the night. That's the word I was looking for. Shortest.
But I feel every match here got given a good time.
Yeah. Every match being over 10 minutes is a good thing.
Yeah. So next up we got Ethan Page versus Javon Evans singles match.
Just a straight up grudge match.
Yeah. I mean, we thought maybe that this match could just end up in a straight-up brawl, but it ended up being an actual match, and it, again, surprised.
This
thought that Javon Evans would probably... Well, we kind of predicted that maybe he would, the match wouldn't even start, but Javon Evans would come out on top on this situation. But
yeah, but again, we were very surprised, and let me be clear. I like being surprised. Because because when you see what happens, it's not I'm not disappointed. Because
these are just predictions of what you think's gonna happen. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen. It's not a problem.
I also thought I thought momentarily I was like, oh well, maybe Ethan Page puts him out for longer. Like the idea that Javon Evans is so hot. He's in one of those spots where he's so goddamn hot where he's at that you don't want to overdo it. Because you don't want to burn out his fire right away, and now there's nowhere to go. So you really got to take him away again. Like I really feel like, especially in this, we'll get to it. But he's got in the tag match that's coming up. We could see
it's a pretty big spot for him, and it's crazy, man. He's only 20 years old. Like, that's fucking wild.
He's got time. Do not rush this dude. Do not rush him. Yeah. Do not burn him out.
Yeah.
HBK, don't burn him out. Like you can edge us with this guy. Like.
Yeah, don't let him lose his smile.
Yeah, don't let him lose. Certainly, don't let him lose his smile. And God knows he's almost lost it 3 times with all the blood and broken jaw. The story is so well crafted too because at any point he could be knocked out and be out again. Like it's such he's dangling on a thread, on a thread on the edge of a razor,
Right.
It's the razor's edge is a wild place to live, as someone once said in a song on their band's second album, available on Spotify. That's Riverside Odds. That's a plug for me.
Whose band's that? Oh, it's yours.
It's me. I was the one that wrote that line. That's from She's Bad off of Get Into It. So go to any place that you stream music. Look for Riverside Odds. Look for the album Get Into It. It's a fucking rad album. It's got our song about Randy Macho Man Savage called Savage on it. So wrestling related.
It's a good song.
It's a fucking great song. Yeah, all of them are great. Yeah, because I wrote them.
Great songs.
Every song that you and I have ever wrote are great. Just for clarification purposes. Anyway.
I love a little self plug. It's great.
Yeah, man.
NXT Championship co-main event of the night: Obafemi versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I really enjoyed this match.
I wouldn't even say this is a co-main event. I mean, you could some might, but as great as this was, the main event was the main event. This was the
main event was the main event. Yeah,
I would say this is the secondary main event. This is the secondary event.
Yeah, secondary main event, and it was good fun. It was like I like the interaction between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I think they never really touched. They never intentionally touched each other.
Yeah, no, they had a little
a little squabble.
Skerfuffle. Certainly accidental. The end result was Austin. No, wait, no. It was Grayson hitting Austin.
Yeah, Grayson did that kind of. I don't know what that move's called, but he rolls in the ring and does the stunner. But he obviously didn't see who he was stunning, and then he realized it was Austin Theory.
Right, it was Grayson Waller hitting Austin Theory with.
But I like this match. It was like these matches where you ever get like a triple threat where it's like a tag team and a singles guy. It's like they're always quite good dynamics. You don't get matches like this come along very often, so they're always fun. And this match was fun. Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
Once again, you just get Obafemi looking like the ruler that he is. It's like. It's like a bull swatting flies away from it, like when you see a bull in the field and like he just like swats his head away. Like the Austin and Grayson were just like these annoying gnats.
Yeah.
And they're bickering about, but they're both. It's just they are both so great at who they are and what they do, and I can see this is continue. They've kind of they've kind of been on loose threads for a while. Like they've the whole time they've always been a little bit of each of they've each was wanted to one up the other in their tag team. It's nothing.
But
it's
Grayson
nothing
Waller
new.
is definitely treating Austin Theory more like shit than the other way around.
Yeah,
sure.
I could. Yeah, because he's the bigger dick, and I think
He is a bigger dick, yeah.
but also because he's the one that hasn't had the accolades that Austin Theory is a U.S. champion, former U.S. champion. So he's had
Money
a
in the
singles
Bank winner.
Money in the Bank. He's had some main roster success.
Yeah.
So Grayson has that chip on his shoulder,
Yeah.
literally.
To end this match, and actually we didn't mention it earlier, which we should have done because they attacked Nathan Frazier, Axiom, Josh Briggs, and Inamura. But we had this group come out of kind of like a Shield, Nexus, Retribution mix. Core. Just this kind of group of. I guess that they look like Retribution, but
someone
they kind
got
of
really
like the
offended.
Shield.
Someone got really offended that I said the core wasn't memorable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who any of these guys are. It seems like they are from developmental, but like as in like they're still in the performance center kind of developmental.
You could probably find them on Evolve.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't even think they're in Evolve. I think Evolve.
No, actually,
I think the Evolve's not even started yet.
Yeah, it hasn't even started yet.
I think they're guys from the performance center that maybe they might have been on Level Up before recently, but
likely.
They're not no names basically, and that's what makes them a bit more like Nexus in a way. It's like
I could not tell you who any of them were just by looking at their eyeballs and hairstyles.
Yeah, because they weren't trying to like conceal their identities too much. Like their masks go down and you could see their faces, but none of them you don't know any of these people are. But so I don't know, it's we'll see where it goes. There was a bit more in NXT about that, not too much, but I don't know, it's
who is known,
we'll see where it goes though. What's that?
Best known for his song The Touch from the 1986 movie The Transformers movie, Stan Bush. You got the touch. All right, I gotta close that tab. I can close the tab so I don't accidentally.
I'm gonna keep throwing back to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be a good drop. It'll be a good thing for me to edit in a nice little drop. Yeah. Also, we can now put it on our playlist. Oh
yeah. We should definitely add. We got the gender theme. We should definitely. We can't get copyrighted for "I Got the Touch." That's it. Nothing else, right?
I think you have like, I believe it's like 2 seconds. It used to be somewhere about like 5 seconds. When it comes to, I think as long as it's under 2 seconds, like, because it's not. We're not trying to claim that that's our song or make money. We're just
using a soundbite.
It's a drought.
So if I say that Julia had the touch,
you got the touch.
You could put the soundbite right here, right here. Yeah! Anyway,
I think we got a new drop.
We got a new drop
on top of our Jinder Mahal drop that we haven't been utilizing properly enough. We haven't been. It's hard. It's hard because he's not in WWE right now.
It's hard because he's not around anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean he is around. So we need to talk. I think we'll talk about it next week. We'll have a update on next week's
see what's
episode.
Going on with him.
Yeah, we really need to show him.
But
the
let's get to the main event of the evening.
Yeah.
Julia, Bayley, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade fatal four for the NXT Women's Championship. This is fucking great.
My God, man.
Yeah,
as
brilliant
Booker
match.
As Booker T would say.
Yeah.
Booker T says a lot. Booker T's got. I love Booker T's lines.
He is a madman. I want to give Vic Joseph is great, man. What a color commentator!
Dude.
What a play-by-play.
Also, yeah, I wanted to mention this on the other at another point. Just a Vic Joseph appreciation moment.
Yeah.
How he stood up to himself when both Corey Graves and Booker T were healing out on him. Just good on you, Vic. Good on you for standing up for yourself with logic and reason that shut both of their heels nonsense down in the moment. I can't remember. At this point, I can't remember what it was. I just remember Vic Joseph standing up for himself, and I just want to...
I do know what you're talking about. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I mean, Victor, I've always really liked Vic Joseph. Like, it shocks me that he's never been brought up to the main roster. I mean, he was on SmackDown last week, actually, with Wade Barrett.
Yeah, because Joe Tessitore was on assignment.
On assignment.
He was out on assignment.
But yeah, I've always loved Vic Joseph. I think he's such a good... I mean, he's been with the company for such a long time now, and I feel like I can't wait for him. It's so tricky with Raw and SmackDown being the only two shows. Like, there's literally 2 spots to be filled for play-by-play, and
yeah, that's a spot that is very... It's a niche spot, and there are very few of those spots available.
Yeah. And actually, I just found out, I mean, if you haven't watched Michael Cole on Impulsive yet, watch it. It made me late for recording this podcast because I was actually well engrossed in it. But Michael Cole has literally just signed a new 8-year deal with the WWE. So he is
8-year deal.
So yeah,
that's
just look into it. I ain't going to give the story because I can't remember it. But
that's
it's
amazing.
Really good.
God damn. God bless Michael Cole.
Yeah, this main event was fucking great. It's one of the best women's NXT title matches we've had. This gave me a little throwback to like the takeover days of women's wrestling, you know?
Yeah, it really did. I mean, having Bayley in there certainly
helped. Yeah,
by every metric that matters. These are the Punks Talk Wrestling metrics that matters. You know, by every metric that matters, this was a perfect match, perfect Fatal 4-Way match, perfect championship defense of a Fatal 4-Way match.
Yeah.
Everybody looked strong. There were multiple storylines going on. You know, we did see a little bit of there was some minor shenanigans. I think. What happened at the? But it was.
I don't
just,
think that. Yeah, I don't think there were any shenanigans.
No. Oh, that's right. No. I'm thinking of something. I was thinking of something else.
Yeah.
There's just so much amazing shit going on that they get blurred together a little bit. Yeah. This was a perfect Fatal 4-Way championship match. A perfect way to end the main event. You know, there's so many things you can get from this, because now we've got, you know, both Julia and Stephanie McCurr are relative newcomers to NXT, but also very well established in other areas. So they're big names. They're these big names that have come in and established their dominance. By the way, Establish Your Dominance was tentatively going to be the title of Riverside Odd's second album. Originally, when it was a much more hardcore punk-leaning album. At some point, I'm going to release the original mixes, the original like demos of those songs, because
that'd be cool.
It's so different. I'll send them to you after. I'll send them to you after we're recording. Just you can listen to at one point. But they're like, I mean, some of them weren't good. They're definitely better now, but it was a totally different album. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway, Julia, Stephanie McCurr establishing their dominance. Yeah, we've got Roxanne Perez, who, you know, came into Raw and is now in the Elimination Chamber. Rox is Raw. Or Raw is Rox.
Yeah, Roxanne Perez. I mean, I don't know. You got to think now that maybe she's been in NXT for a very long time, and I think it's about time. She's been there since the very start of 2.0, so I think now is the time to bring her up to the main roster. At this point, I would not be surprised if Roxanne Perez wins the Elimination Chamber. And this is this is her basically, this is her call up. She's on Raw now. Yeah. You never know.
Because we know Charlotte has chosen Tiffany Stratton.
Yep, she has.
And I don't think it would be I don't think it would be bad if Roxanne Perez loses to
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. Yeah, why was I having a complete brain fart? Because there's so many.
Looking at that, I mean, let's not get too deep into Elimination Chamber because we can do that another time. But
yeah.
Looking at that chamber, like, it's not going to be Liv Morgan because we've done Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley to death.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexa Bliss is probably a contender.
I think I think she's got I think she's got enough going on otherwise that she can build a storyline out of whomever eliminates her. She can certainly go. She can certainly go after Roxanne.
Roxanne's definitely got a good chance there. But I mean, anyway, back to NXT. Jordynne Grace comes out at the end, kind of has a face off with Julia. And Stephanie Vaquer who comes out as well. So
it's that was the staple. That was the ink is on the paper, signed on the dotted line. Jordynne Grace is officially NXT.
Is NXT
because I think there was. I think everyone assumed that.
I think we all knew that she had signed with the WWE, but we didn't really know where she was going. I think we all thought it was going to be NXT, but it makes
so much more sense. And then of course we get that we now saw the 6-woman tag match as the main event of NXT this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, what'd you give? What's out of 20?
Dude. Taking into account the levels of detailed storytelling that all of these. First of all, every match was fantastic. Every match was technically
there was no bad match at all.
Was technically great. There wasn't one that there wasn't at any point where I was like, oh man, this is kind of boring. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I could not tune. There wasn't anything that you could possibly tune out.
Right.
Fuck, man, it's. I think I'm going with 18. I'm going with an 18. It gets a +4 for me. You know, I can't give it a 19 mainly because of the Eddie Thorpe Trick Williams match. I just haven't bought Eddie Thorpe yet enough. And I think too the Nathan Frazier knowing that we're barreling towards Fraxium versus the Hardy Boys.
Fraxium, yeah.
I'm fine with that, but yeah, it's time to take the titles off of them, and who better? But because of that, it kind of made this match of course that happened. Like,
yeah.
You know,
I'm probably gonna give it a 17, only because not because I mean. 17 is still a great number, but I know that if I give this an 18 or a 19, it's going to be too much, and then something way better is going to come along.
Yeah.
So I need to give a little breathing room. So I think I'm going to go for 17 for this one.
All right. So we're at a 17.5, and we can't have 0.5s. We don't do halves. That's why we did 20 to begin with. Should we roll to get an official one number rating? You know what? No, I think I just got to come down to. I'll come down to 17 because I can't see any way that I could potentially convince your 17 to be an 18, and I can't discount all of your reasons for having it a 17.
I just got to give breathing room for things to be better.
Yeah,
and I know that things could be way, way better.
The fact that we know that there are going to be better, higher rated pay-per-views in our own minds.
Exactly.
Yeah, and sure, like things can have the same ratings, but I think we're going to see that our own method of ranking, in order for something to be 20. Whoa. Holy shit.
You good?
Yeah. Are you hearing that?
What?
Okay, I just got some I don't know if it came through on my recording. I just got some wild static coming through my headphones.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that's weird.
That'd be we see if it picked it up in recording or not.
Yeah. Holy shit. That was weird. It was sort of anyway. Well, whatever that was. Weird. I mean, there's weird shit going on. We haven't seen Uncle Howdy stuff in a while. Except, well, no, we have. We saw with Alexa Bliss had a glitch.
Yeah, we saw some interference. Yeah,
we saw some interference in Alexa Bliss, but no. Jeez, sorry. I know. They can't help me with that. Every time I say her name, my Echo Dot goes off.
It's so
I need to turn it off in the room while I'm recording because there's just too many times that comes up.
Especially if she's back now. It's going to happen so much more often.
Yeah.
I guess, before we
17 is going to be the official.
17 is the number. Yeah.
17 is the official Punk Talk Wrestling pay-per-view points. Pay-per-view points? I don't know. I'm trying to make it into something. We'll figure it out.
Punk Talk Wrestling Universal Ranking. No, not Universal Ranking. Universal Rating. That's what
Universal
Rating. Right?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we already had it. Well, we'll maybe there's a better maybe just this we'll workshop potentially a better name for it. But it's 17. Still solid.
And before we wrap things up, I guess there's two things. I mean, we've spoken about the Hardy Boys situation.
We got to talk about NXT. We got to talk about the other things that happened on NXT.
Two big things. Yeah,
let's go.
Obviously, Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints, is his WWE name, has signed a contract. So obviously, he had a little bit of an interaction with. Oh my God, his name has escaped me. Ethan Page.
Yeah,
which is quite funny, being the fact that they're both from AEW. So
that's pretty wild. I've seen it now. Of course, instantly we know how the internet whining community TM reacts to things. They did it with Gunter when he changed his name to Walter. But now we're seeing more people at least just being like, "Hey, man, it's just a name."
It's just a name. His character on NXT was no different to how he's always been.
But one of the things that having a new name does give you is the ability to be a little bit different. And also just put a line in the sand that says this is a different era for me. And I also want to bring up the fact that not a single goddamn person anywhere at any time has ever given any wrestling organization besides WWE any shit when John Hennigan was John Morrison or Johnny Blaze or Johnny Caballera or Johnny Elite or Johnny Fusion or Johnny Hardy or Johnny Impact or Johnny Mundo or Johnny Nitro or Johnny Spade or Johnny Superstar or Johnny TV or literally what Wikipedia says, various other ring names. It's not important. It's not as important what their name is as much as how they make you feel. And Ricky Saints is making me feel good that Ricky Saints is in NXT. And that's all that matters to me, is feeling good. And this podcast, and you feeling good, and this podcast,
as
and,
well, with
and my wife,
with Ricky Starks
the
is
safety of my
his
children.
Ricky Starks is his
my
real
children,
name.
My one child. I only have one kid.
What are you talking about?
I went on a little. There was a little low side tangent. I said the only thing I care about is me being happy, and also you being happy in this podcast, and my wife and my child. I said my children, but then I was like, I only have one
children.
child.
You got cat children though.
I have cat children, and I also had a crazy dream the other night that apparently I had a daughter, and it was long story short. It was just someone. I never knew. I didn't know until the long story short. Yeah, I had this crazy dream that I found out that I had another child.
That's a fucked up dream.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was I'm not exactly sure why, and it was specifically that I had a daughter, and it also was tied. Because I had to perform at a TNA event at a New Year's Eve party.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's weird. It was sort of like, it was very much like the I Show Speed thing where he was just there, and then all of a sudden it's like, shit, we need someone to go. And it's like, Ralph, you're a wrestling fan. You're a wrestling fan. You've got to have a match right now. You've got to have this match right now. And I'm like, what? And apparently my daughter was at this New Year's Eve party turned TNA wrestling event that I got conscripted into. Fucking weird, man. Dreams are fucking.
I mean, talk to a psychologist. They'll be able to break that down.
Yeah,
some weird,
probably. Yeah, there's probably.
The other thing we need to talk about real quick, and there's not much to say about it apart from the fact that it's Moose versus Obafemi, and it's just a match made in heaven right there.
Holy shit! And I know that
Obafemi's always reminded me of Moose, even before NXT and TNA had this thing going on. Obafemi has always reminded me of Moose. His style in the ring is very similar to Moose, and now we've got NXT champion and the TNA X Division champion going up against each other at some point.
Well, we know that, and we know we're going to see him versus Lexus King, because Lexus King essentially roped him into a title match, and he's just like, is that all you want? Fine, I'll kick your ass next week. Basically, holy shit, though, dude. That dude looks like. He reminds me. Now I don't know. I've seen him a little bit in TNA.
Yeah.
But I'm not as completely current, and I still haven't given myself enough time to fully immerse in all that's going on. But it's inevitable now. I've got to. When the way he presented himself on NXT.
His entrance was great, yeah.
But it's also bigger. He reminded me of Marvel's Kingpin, like in the way that he presented himself as just, and I mean like the Netflix Kingpin, not the comic book, comically large, oversized guy. What's the actor that played Kingpin?
I cannot remember.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it. That guy. Vinny D. Big Vinny D. We're going to call him from now on. He just immediately, like the suit, the perfectly like tailored suit. He looked sharp as a razor.
He's an impressive looking dude, and like the crazy thing is, so if you don't know much about Moose, he was actually in the NFL. He was drafted in the NFL in 2006. So he was Atlanta Falcons, New England Patriots, St. Louis Rams, Indianapolis Colts, St. Louis Rams again. And in 2012, he decided to become a professional wrestler, and since then he's been in Ring of Honor, he's been in RPW, he's been in Evolve, he's been in New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's been Pro Wrestling Noah, and he's been in TNA since 2016, I think it is. So he's been around for a while. He's a guy actually that I'm really surprised hasn't been signed by the WWE before this. Like, he's impressive. He's really good.
I mean, I think. Oh shit! He's 40.
Yeah, and he's 40. Yeah, I mean, Obafemi's 26 years old, and Moose is 40.
But he sure doesn't look like it. I mean, he does. He carries himself like a man, like an experienced man, and that's that is something that he's got going for him. And I didn't realize, like when you see him in TNA against people that you're also not always necessarily familiar with. Or I'm not, you don't really see the scale until you see him standing eye to eye with Obafemi, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Yeah, this dude is 6'5", 299 pounds. from Atlanta, Georgia,
Yeah.
and Orlando, Florida, and Washington D.C.
Yeah, he's
from
an impressive
from
dude.
Syracuse University. Fuck, he needs more. They needs more on his Wikipedia page. But like, yeah, man, that was
it. Him versus Obafemi is, whenever that ends up happening, is going to be.
Oh, I think we know.
wild.
Oh, I think we know. It's gonna be. It's gonna be WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, likely.
I think it kind of has to be.
It would be quite cool to see if we do Obafemi and Moose for the both championships, and we also do Fraxium and Hardy Boys for both championships, because you could see
have
the
worlds
Hardy
collide.
Boys. Yeah, well, I'd love to. I want to see. Well, I think summertime's a good time for a Worlds Collide event, but I'd love to see some NXT championships go to TNA and vice versa. I really would. That would really solidify this whole deal. I think we're going to see it eventually.
I think we absolutely are going to see it, and I think it was smart. I think it's smart that they are slow playing it.
You don't want to rush into these things. I also want to see Dolph Ziggler, or I mean, we've seen Fandango already, so there ain't no reason why we can't see Dolph Ziggler at some point.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so many
possibilities. It's great. It's so good for
professional wrestling. Is so great right now.
WWE has never put themselves in this situation. I mean, I know that Vince,
not to this degree.
Vince had his sandbox, and he wanted to keep everything in that sandbox and have control of everything that he had control of. But I think with Triple H in charge and Sean running developmental like they are, like, I think there's a lot more lenience to want to reach out their hands to other company. They realize that being the WWE, they control professional wrestling, so they are able to just work with anyone. And if you don't want to work with them, AEW,
you don't have to.
Then, but that's up to you. You're going to have to
here's the
play catch up. Honestly.
There's a difference. I think it's of course it's smart. It's smart that they're showcasing They're showcasing TNA. They showcase TNA talent in the Royal Rumble in an event where mystery people can show up, and it's great so that the casual audience knows there's a connection here. Also, wow, I should check out TNA, because they do want to drive viewership to TNA.
Yeah, of course they do.
Because they want people to see their WWE stars, WWE wrestlers in TNA, and and the whole goal is they want to help each other. To be honest, and it's extremely smart. Let's get people who are WWE wrestlers or WWE fans who may want to watch more wrestling. Let's steer them towards the wrestling we want them to watch, which is other people that we're invested in.
This benefits nothing else more than it just benefits professional wrestling.
It benefits professional wrestling anytime. Honestly, anytime you have the top organization working with anyone, and you can, people are going to have their own views of it, whatever. It benefits everyone. It benefits professional wrestling as a whole, because the competition forces people to get better, forces people to step up or get stepped on. And that is just the way it is. And if you don't run a professional wrestling organization, if you don't want to be in competition for viewers and fans' times with other professional wrestling organizations,
that's right.
But also it shows when you don't make your entire identity, when your identity doesn't revolve in some way around I'm gonna talk shit on the top organization, and we're gonna just TNA did their thing. TNA, we've said this before. We said this last year, before any of this happened, because there was that when we saw Jordan Grace the first time, and even back when we saw when she's now one of the mentors in Legends and Future Greats, former TNA Knockouts champion.
Mickie James.
Mickie James. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Mickie James showed up, that was 4 years ago. right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That
isn't
was
it?
a precursor.
So this has been in the works for quite some time.
Exactly. This
say.
has been in
Yeah.
that moment. Mickie James, TNA Knockout Champion, showing up in the Royal Rumble. That was the seed that was planted, and look at how long it took. And they slow burned it. You know,
You got to gain trust. I mean, as well,
Yeah.
like, the thing is, TNA have been scarred before because they tried to work with AEW for about a year.
Yeah.
And in that relationship, what happened was TNA would never get AEW stars on their show. They would only... TNA would never have any presence on an AEW show.
Yeah.
Like... And it was so you're not actually cross-promoting in any way. You're only allowing Kenny Omega basically show up on TNA.
Yeah.
And there's no... You're not trying to help TNA here.
Yeah.
Like... And at the time, TNA were in a very small... They weren't doing very well. They were in a small... they were airing out of the same place every week, and they weren't drawing big crowds. Like, TNA is slowly... as time's moving on here, TNA is surpassing AEW in my... opinion as the second down from WWE in North America, especially.
Absolutely. Certainly by the metrics that matter to us, they are.
Yeah.
And we can, and people can think however any ways they want to think about it. The only but the bottom line is it's not an opinion. It is just purely facts, and people within the company have come out and specifically said it. The only reason AEW exists is because Tony Khan has enough money to burn to do whatever he wants to do with his playground. And it's his playground.
Exactly.
He can play with his toys however he wants. Jericho was on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, and he flat out said it in the best possible way. Like, he didn't, he's like, hey man, Tony Khan's the boss. So at the end of the day, it's my job to do what he says and make the best of it.
And that's Chris Jericho's always looked that way. He was just the same with Vince. He might not have agreed with things he wanted to do, but he's like, he's my boss. I'll do what he says.
But also, he's gonna do. But Chris Jericho is also gonna do as much as he can do, because Chris Jericho respects the business of professional wrestling, and while he's being paid by Tony Khan to wrestle, he's going to do the best he fucking can. And I'll tell you, man, I love Chris Jericho. I've always loved Chris Jericho. Mainly the only reason, and again, the only reason I don't watch him in AEW or stuff is because it's mostly the presentation. I don't like the presentation, but it's not that I don't support him and love what he does. I respect him for everything and for continuing to get over and continue to keep people talking about it, even though people hate the learning tree. Some people hate it. I love it. I love it because of how much people hate it more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, he actually said on that podcast, like, he like, people are shouting at him, please retire. And it's like, he's a heel. Yeah. You're meant to not like me. Yeah. Like, you're being worked by not liking me. You're reacting to me.
Exactly. You're still, I'm getting you to participate in what's happening. And that is, and it's just, yeah, it's great. And he said the exact same thing. It's like, those same people, if they saw me on the street, they'd come up, they'd be the first to come, they'd come up and be like, oh, Chris, I love you. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Anywho, what else happened?
Wrap this motherfucker. I think that's about it. I think for NXT.
We've got Carmen Petrovic is now the #1 contender for the North American Championship. That's just the other thing that happened. We're getting, and we're getting at the end of the night. Well, there's more things that happened with NXT. We're getting a tag match. Ricky Saint's first match is going to be a tag match with Javon Evans versus Ethan Page and Wes Lee.
Yeah.
I love how they're roping everybody in. I think that's perfect because they're doing this. They're doing with Ricky Saints the same thing they did with Jade Cargill. Allow her to be in a tag team so that you're protected a little bit. You can get in the mix, but you don't. You can be like, you
you're not the focus at the center
You're
of
not
attention,
the focus.
basically, yeah.
Exactly. He's actually in a way he's doing the opposite of what Ethan Page did. Was he came in, his whole thing is ego. He got a championship match and won right away.
Yeah.
He's doing the opposite in proving that he's here, and it's also negating the irritate Wes Lee's problem. Like Wes is pissed that he just comes in and like, oh yeah. Now it was. I'll be honest. It was a little disrespectful of. Hold on. Let me. Of Megan. It was Megan Morant. That was the backstage. Backstage interviews.
Yeah.
It was a little disrespectful of her to just stop mid interview with Wes Lee and them to just run after Ricky Saints. But that might have also been her being told to do that. She has an earpiece
exactly.
Too. So I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to blame her. It's it's her job. It's part of her job. She's doing her job.
She's doing her job. Just doing her job. Don't fault someone for just doing their job.
And now we got a tag team match. That's gonna be great. And
and
the close and I'm guessing we have to assume the close of NXT, the destruction of the manager's office and the beatdown of
who was that? Stone.
Yes, Stone. Yes.
I'm surprised. It's just shocked that he's Robert Stone, that's it. I'm surprised that he's still not being brought up to he's got such a great fleshed out character and he's been in NXT for such a long time that it shocks me that he hasn't been brought up in any capacity to be a manager on the main roster. I think he's a great manager as well.
Yeah, but I think they might be waiting. I guess
you got to put him with the right person.
The right person, the right time.
I could definitely see him having a Dangerous Alliance type situation, with a bunch of clients.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If we look at NXT wrestlers, like, who would be good? I know this is, you know what? We'll put this for next week. We'll talk about this next week. Put a pin in this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a note here. Next week, Robert Stone. He's gonna be one of the topics of next week. All right.
Sweet. Now we keep having beasts of episodes every week lately.
Shit. So next week. Yeah, we've got. That's it.
We don't even know what we're doing next week.
I don't know what we're doing. We're probably just gonna talk about everything, anything.
Probably just gonna talk about wrestling.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about wrestling. But you know what? Between now and then, listeners, followers, all of those things. If there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know.
Well, I'll do it once again. I'm gonna as soon as we finish recording, I'll go on Instagram and I will
make a poll.
I'll make a poll or some description or a question and see what people want next week's episode.
Yeah,
to be about.
I'll put a poll up on Threads as well. Speaking of Threads and Instagram, you can interact with us on social media at Instagram or Threads at Punks Talk Wrestling. YouTube.com/Punks Talk Wrestling. Email us at punkstalkwrestling@gmail.com or support our podcast on Patreon. Patreon.com/Punks Talk Wrestling. I think that's all that's left is the shout outs. I kind of did these in reverse order as normal, but shout outs to Wikipedia. Support Wikipedia. Shout out to Al at 2K and Kaylee at 2K UK. Pre-order WWE 2K25, the Bloodline Edition. Just search WWE 2K25 pre-order online, and it'll take you right there. We'll put the links are in the episodes, so look for them.
Hell yeah!
The Bloodline Edition. You get a whole bunch of crazy stuff. It's worth it. So do it. I think that's it. You have any other shout outs? Do we need to?
Don't think so. I think I'm good.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, then I guess we're done.
I think we're done.
All right. Save the thing.
All right, see ya.